Fox Sports.
The Royals return home on Tuesday to face the reigning AL MVP and Cy Young Award winner and promptly knocked him all around Kauffman Stadium in a 9-8 win. In Game 2 last night,
come on, Chin!
And Bruce answered the call with some help with the weather in a 1-0 win. Jeremy Guthrie leads the way tonight as the Royals go for a sweep. Next on Fox Sports, Kansas City.
Royals baseball comes to you from Kansas City, where the Royals have won their last 5 home games. Tonight, they go for a sweep over the Tigers. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Ryan Lefevre. The Royals are 16-11 in August, their first winning August since 2000. The team ERA is second best in the league this month, and last night was the third time in August a starter had 8 scoreless innings, and they have won their last 7 games against first-place Chicago and second-place Detroit. And Rex Hudler, what does that mean for the Royals this late in the year?
Ryan, it means that they're having an impact in their own division, like they wanted to from the very beginning. Now, maybe they're not in first place, but they're not too far behind by the way they've been playing. They're executing the game. Every manager wants quality pitching, good starting pitching, good defense, and timely hitting. Those are the 3 areas that you have to have consistency in, and that's why the Royals have been making an impact in their own division. Not just their division, but they're opening up eyes, and they believe in themselves.
And that about sums up what Jeremy Guthrie has done since coming to the Royals. He has opened up eyes. Coming off a bad start at Boston before that, 24 consecutive innings without an earned run. Official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals by the Missouri Lottery. When you play, students win. Joel and Monty will join us when we come back.
2 Greg Holland saves to close it out. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium and rivals. Joel Goldberg alongside of Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. 2 straight high leverage situations with runners on base. How was Holland able to get out of it against this good Tigers team?
Joe, I think primarily he's been able to rely on his experience from last year and earlier this year when he was not a closer. I think he's able to go out there. Think about last year, he inherited 33 runners. He stranded all but 2 of those runners. So I think he's just drawn on that experience, and he's been really good this year.
And he has had some big outs against Miguel Cabrera, who has been held homerless against the Royals this year. First pitch is coming up. Ryan and Rex have the call.
Official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. Royals go for a sweep over the Tigers, who are 2.5 back in the Central. Royals shutting out Detroit last night, and Chicago won, so the lead was 3, but Chicago has lost earlier today at Baltimore. And the Tigers lineup, they scored 8 runs in game 1 of the series, but shut out last night 1-0. And for the Royals, that was the 3rd time this year they have won a game 1-0. It was also the 3rd time this year that a pitcher has pitched 8 scoreless innings. One of those was Jeremy Guthrie, and here's the key report for tonight.
Okay, we hope that he has the ability to keep Jackson off base. He's scored 82 runs this year, and believe me, Fielder and Cabrera are one of the reasons that this guy scored that many runs. Keep him off. And keep those guys in the middle, in the yard. 55 home runs between both of them. Be the anchor man. Take the baton from Bruce Chin. You're the last leg of this trip here. Get the sweep, Guthrie. Take the anchor and be the anchor man, the baton, and go with it. Defense now sponsored by Ford. You see Lorenzo Cain, no Gerard Dyson. He's got a tender shoulder out there, so Cain is the man to be able to cover the ground out there. Frenchie's back in right field. And the rest is all good. Same guys out there in the positions. Moose, who's having a great season defensively at third base, has been awesome. He leads the world in starting double plays for third baseman.
And he has 4 hits and 3 RBIs in the series. So Austin Jackson, one of the points of the key report, takes strike 1. 5 hits, 2 walks. So on base 7 times in the first 2 games. And he has scored 3 times.
Yep, those Kia reports are generally to try to give you an idea about how to beat this team. And Guthrie, he's got good weapons, especially since Dave Island's really worked on him. turning his upper body a little bit more. He's getting more run on his two-seam fastball. Slider curve has changed. He's keeping him out of the middle for the most part.
3 pitches, and he strikes out Jackson, gets him with a fastball at 93 miles an hour.
Hey, not wasting any time. Staying ahead. Now, if he stays in the middle of the plate with that ball, though, it will get hit. So he's going to have to stay on the corners. He got by with that one.
Andy Dirks, the former Wichita State Shocker, and his former coach Gene Stevenson was here earlier in the series. Had a time to catch up with Andy. Andy Dirks has had a very nice season for the Tigers this year, hitting .332. He spent some time on the disabled list. He was down with an Achilles injury in the middle of May, and since coming back, he has played better than he did before the injury.
Okay, there's a little bit of light coming in Kauffman Stadium here, and it's affecting Hosmer over there at first base. See that little bright spot there can be a problem if you're trying to catch a ball coming at any velocity at you. So he's kind of taking a sidestep one way or the other. I saw him trying to duck under it, but for just the first inning, that's an issue.
Back-to-back strikeouts. Both with a fastball. That one in 94. 2 down in the first. Well, the weather's supposed to change beginning tomorrow, and right now 97 degrees at first pitch. We started at 7:11 Central Daylight Time. Time and temp brought to you by the parking spot at KCA. Last I heard, we could be seeing some of the rain from Hurricane Isaac beginning tomorrow night and possibly going into the early morning hours on Saturday.
Sure would be a blessing if we could get a little bit of that, but we'll wait and see what happens. But in the meantime, that's why you keep the guys off ahead of these guys. You keep the first 2 hitters off. That way they can't score, because the Cabrera and Prince Fielder are mashers. They can hit the ball. Have high averages, run production numbers. They're the best in the business.
And Fielder has driven in 2 in this series, giving him 93 on the year. Guthrie jumps ahead with strike 1. This is Prince Fielder's 310th consecutive game. That's the longest streak in Major League Baseball. Pales in comparison, of course, to Cal Ripken. It was well over 2,000, but that is the longest current streak among major leaguers.
And I got a chance to talk to him. I don't get a chance to very often, but I talked to him the other day and I said, hey, what's the difference between hitting in back of Cabrera this year and hitting in back of MVP Ryan Braun last year? And he looked at me and he had a big smile on his face. He goes, you know what? It's really a pleasure, but it's like your comic book heroes. Pick a hero. They're just different. One's the Hulk and one's Superman. So I was guessing he was referring to Superman as Braun and the Hulk being Cabrera, since he's a lot bigger in stature. But he said it's just pick a comic hero, pick a guy, and that's what it's like. They're different, but they're both heroes.
And there's a base hit into right center field. Cabrera's got a bad ankle, but he's going to run anyway, and he's into third base with 2 down. So back-to-back hits with 2 outs and runners at the corners.
Okay, perfect hit. That's right in that big hole there. Gio was playing in shallow right field. Escobar was over, but found a perfect spot for it. Now, there would already be a run on the board if Jackson or Dirks was on. So the fact that he went right after those guys and punched them out helps him. And now if he can find a way to get Young out, get out of the inning.
Strike 1 on Delman Young.
Delman has a really good eye. He's able to pick up the rotation. He's able to pick up pitches out of the release point. Off-speed pitches, he'll go the opposite field.
He's had better swings than that one. 0-2.
That was a fastball, tried to jam him. He tried to flare it out there. 0-2, nothing too good to him. Waste a couple pitches on him here.
And we brought this up a couple of times in the series. He is difficult to walk. You might even try and walk him, and it won't be easy. Only 17 on the year, so if it's anywhere near the strike zone, at least in his mind, he's hacking. Over the mound behind second base, and the flip to second base gets Fielder, and Guthrie strikes out 2 and works around 2 hits in the first inning. Took 9 runs to take game 1 from the Tigers, but only 1 last night. And the only run driven in was from Eric Hosmer, who should be happy to see Tiger starter Rick Porcello on the mound tonight as we flash back to a year ago tomorrow. Hosmer hit 2 home runs in 1 game against Rick Porcello.
Wow, where's that? I haven't seen him pull a homer like that all year. That breaking ball, man. Maybe he can go up there and look for a little off-speed pitch from Porcello. Speaking of Porcello, he's 2-0 with a 3.71 in his last 4 starts against the Royals. And what he's going to do is he's going to try to see how many worms he can burn out there at the K on the grass. Very good sinker baller. 88 to 92 is where he prefers. He does have a 4-seamer, though. He can reach 94, maybe 95 at times. Slider, curve, and a change. But he pitches to contact. Another one of those guys.
Very few walks, very few strikeouts, and a lot of the defense when Rick Porcello's on the mound. And Lorenzo Cain leads off tonight. And there's that fastball with movement in for a strike.
Yep, Porcello leads the majors in hits given up, 186. So that tells you that he pitches to contact. And he wants him to hit it at his defense, but you see all the holes that are out there. Hot hitters seem to find those holes, and guys that aren't so hot hit them at them.
And a lot of those hits are singles. He's only allowed 11 home runs among the 186 hits. 1 ball, 2 strikes against Lorenzo Cain. 23 years old, Rick Porcello made his big league debut in 2009 at the age of 20. And he went 14-9 that year for the Tigers. 2-2.
And you know, his average against is 311 with all those hits, you can imagine. But he's done a good job of keeping the ball in the yard. It's 11 home runs, 8 off lefties' bats.
Cabrera bare hands and throws out Cain. And I think he had to because of a tricky hop. defensively for the Tigers tonight, presented by Ford.
Well, Jim Leland knew when he moved Cabrera after signing Fielder to third base that Cabrera could handle that spot over there. He has there 10 times. That's not too bad. But they consummated a deal. They had a hole at second base. They got Omar Infante from the Marlins. And he's playing second base now pretty much the rest of the season for them, along with Anibal Sanchez, who pitched last night's game.
Four hits in the first two games for Alcides Escobar. Batting at .304. He has never gotten a hit against Rick Porcello. Maybe because of pitches like that when Porcello's on, just riding in on the right-hand hitter.
Well, maybe you ought to try to get soft on him. What I mean by that is sinker baller, ball's going down, drop a bunt down. But he won't with 2 strikes. Because if you do, you're out. If you foul it off.
We were talking last night about Alcides Escobar and how well he has hit at home. And he was second best in the league, but now he leads the league. That's the best home batting average in the American League, as he has jumped over Denard Span of the Twins, who went on the disabled list today.
Oh,
that's just foul off the right field line. Rick Porcello was the Tigers' first-round pick in 2007.
Brian, I'm sorry. Who went on the DL?
Denard Span. And the Twins will be here tomorrow night. Denard Span had the best home batting average in the league until Escobar got 2 hits last night and passed him.
What's ailing him?
I believe it was a shoulder.
Sorry for his setback, but gosh, to have him out of the lineup against the Royals is not a bad thing, because the Royals are trying to win games.
Another chance for Cabrera, and he's right on the money to Fielder. 2 down in the bottom of the first.
Hey, Cabrera, he throws very well from the sidearm, and his instincts are very good. Now, he may not be the most agile and have the best range, but he can make plays right at him. He's a good athlete. He's a baseball player. Wearing his hat back like that doesn't necessarily make him look like one. But
and as you said that, he fixed it.
He did. Thank you. Because, but he's another guy that loves to play. He's in Salvador Perez and Escobar's league as far as joy goes.
Alex goes the other way for a base hit. His 155th of the year. And now he's hit in 8 straight games.
Okay, you know, facing Porcello is going to give you something good to hit, so you got to be ready to hit it. He was. Nice base hit.
And Alex third in the league. He's 7 behind Miguel Cabrera, and leading the league, Derek Jeter, 176, working on another 200 hit season. Billy Butler takes a strike from Porcello. Billy 0 for 4 last night, but that was a bad luck 0 for 4. Among those outs, a sharply hit one hopper to short, a fly out to Austin Jackson against the wall in center field, and another fly out to the warning track in center. So no hits, but he had 3 good swings. That was not a good swing, and it's 0-2.
It's because he got fooled on the breaker. When you're looking fastball and he throws you that one, that's what it looks like. You're off balance.
And fooled again. So Porcello goes right back to the same pitch, and at the end of 1, no score. The kids will enjoy face painters, balloon artists, kids entertainment by Radio Disney, and much more. Sundays at the ballpark is your family destination. Go to Royals.com/Sunday for more information and for tickets. A strike from Guthrie to Brennan Bosch, who was not in the lineup in the first 2 games of the series. Batting at just .247 with 11 home runs. Guthrie had 2 strikeouts and got around 2 hits in the first. Tigers left runners at first and third when Young grounded out. And Bosch in the air to left center field. And it's Alex Gordon there for the out. So Bosch is in there, and the Tigers going with an extra left-handed bat. And Jeremy Guthrie, there are several categories where he has improved since coming to the Royals, but in particular, look at what he's done against left-hand hitters. They just wore him out in the National League. But in the American League, which is a better hitters league, left-hand batters hitting just .232. Why do you think that is?
Well, there are sometimes reasons that you can't explain, but in Guthrie's case, when he came over here, Dave Island had his eye on him, and it let him have a couple of starts before he started tinkering with his mechanics, and he got him to turn his upper body, his torso, more. And so what he's doing is he's creating a different angle, and when he throws the ball to lefties, his sinker is moving away from him better. So he's starting him off with that. He's also been pitching him inside effectively, and that curveball that he just got Bosch out on was one of the reasons why. He's getting a little bit more movement, and curveball setting him up inside. But it's the adjustment Dave Island made with him, in my opinion.
That pitch was up. Shallow right center. Kane with a slide. So Dyson in the 9th inning last night in left center field. And now Kane in the 2nd inning tonight in right center field.
And that's a winner. And a nice looking catch. Beautiful. Grass stains never look better on your uniform, especially when you make a catch like that. What's even better, though, or if there's runners on. And it's the end of the inning. Sweet play.
So you're saying that qualifies as a sliding catch?
What? Why wouldn't that? That's slide. You're not going to get any better sliding catch than that.
That was one of our categories in the hot watch tonight.
Okay, but getting back to your point, how Guthrie's been doing so much better against lefties, it's the 2-seam runner, but also he's been placing this curveball in good spots. See where this is away from him here? Look at that. He had him reach out. His backside fell out. He was off balance. It's been his location and a little bit of movement.
And very high to left field and near the line. Alex right on the line, over the line, and that's a 7-pitch 2nd inning for Jeremy Guthrie. Coming up on Saturday, the Royals will be handing out signature Moose-Stockus antlers to the first 10,000 fans, courtesy of the Kansas City Zoo. Royals take on the Twins at 6:10. Go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. So here's your chance to look like Rex Hudler.
Well, look, I think they're pretty interesting, but after that collision with Big Prince Fielder, one of his antlers got bent. So he's got a bent antler because of that collision, but Moose is pretty happy with him. He said that he saw him. He saw a set of them and said he'd like to order several dozen.
Well hit, but Salvador Perez is out, one away. And, you know, looking at those antlers, you don't even have to ask him to sign them. His autograph is already on the left antler. And as he's had a good series in the field and at the plate, we'll remind you with Moose coming up to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
So folks can get these Moose Takas on Saturday's game if they come.
Yes.
Nice.
Four hits for Moose-Stockus, 3 of those in game 1. He drove in 3 runs in that game, including the game winner with a double up the right field line in the bottom of the 8th inning. And then was part of 2 double plays last night. One of them a diving stop on a ground ball from the speedy Austin Jackson and turning that into a double play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Still 1-2.
Gerald Laird getting the start tonight behind the plate. He was calling for that curveball down in the dirt.
And another foul ball. He's fouled off 3 in a row. Rick Porcello's 5-2 in his career against the Royals. He's made 12 starts, including a win back on May the 1st. That was in Detroit. He got a lot of run support. That was a 9-3 win. That was 5 runs in the first inning, and then he went 8 and gave up just 3 runs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mentioned earlier, first round pick of the Tigers in 07, and at the age of 20 in 2009, he went 14-9. And the Tigers turned to Porcello for that 1-game playoff with Minnesota at the end of the regular season. Stockus strikes out, and that's Porcello's 2nd of the night. Or did he make contact?
Hey, maybe he got a little foul tip.
Yes, he did. You don't normally see a foul ball when the bat comes flying out of the hitter's hands. Now he's out on a ground ball to second base. 2 down in the 2nd inning. Here's our Time Warner pitch speed comparison. Both Rick Porcello and Jeremy Guthrie have topped out at 94 so far tonight. You can get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet. Strike 2, Jeff Francoeur. 0 for 4 in game 1 with a couple of strikeouts. He was not in the lineup last night. And hoping tonight to put an end to a long slump. He is 0 for his last 18. And now ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. And he can use this for inspiration tonight. He's done well in the past against Porcello. 5 hits, 14 at-bats, a .357 average. That is a swing. Greg Gibson is the first base umpire. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Frenchie's doing all he can to keep his hands from wrapping the barrel around his head. What happens, and it makes you swing long, and he wants to stay short.
3 strikeouts and 2 scoreless innings for Porcello. Fantasy camp is coming up, and we've got 2 members of the Royals alumni. Both can talk quite a bit about catching, and both had good speed. They have that in common. Now, normally, Hud, I would say they ran well for catchers, but I wouldn't say that anymore because John Wathen admonished me, I think, my first year with the Royals, and what he would say, Jason, is why can't you just say we ran well? Why do you have to add at the end for a catcher?
It goes back to the whole Engelbert thing on the Bad News Bears. Catchers are supposed to be big and fat, and we broke the mold.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you've escorted the newest member of the Royals alumni.
We're hoping he will come to fantasy camp. We're here to talk about fantasy camp, which is January 14th through the 18th. Once again, I think it's our 7th or 8th year, and my daughter, of course, Dina Blevins, helps run that thing and does an excellent job, I might add. Since he's our newest alumni and still working with the club here a little bit, working with our catchers, doing some stuff, we want him to come to fantasy camp. So I'm twisting his arm. There's a good chance we can get him to go.
Now, we've got the 2 guys in Major League history with the single highest totals for stolen bases by a catcher, right? All-time leader, 36. Yeah. Jason, you had 26?
26.
And then you broke your ankle.
I did that for Duke.
Yeah. What time of the year was that when you broke your ankle?
It was July 4th.
Oh, July.
I never did tell you about that sniper in the upper deck.
Yeah. He did call me, though. He called me and when I was in the hospital. But, yeah, I snapped my ankle for him because I wanted him to
almost 3 months left to get 11 stolen bases.
But I had 25 in June the year I got 36. Broke my ankle.
He broke his ankle, too.
Yeah. Fouled the ball off my ankle. Was in a cast room.
Very similar.
And everybody was really surprised. They didn't know I could hit a ball hard enough to break a bone in my body.
So campers can hear these stories firsthand when you go to camp, right? Fantasy camp?
And there's adult beverages there, too. The stories get better all the time. After each game and at night, we do something together every single night. You know, we're with them for, I don't know, 16 hours a day.
Now, that would be a nice present for a wife to give their husband, right?
Yeah, they do that all the time.
Now, are there ladies invited too?
We have had some women out there, and they're pretty good players, actually. We've had a couple women, yeah.
And as it was pointed out, last time we had somebody in the booth talking about fantasy camp, it's not just a nice gift for a wife to give her husband, but in some ways it's a gift to herself because she gets the husband out of the house for a few days, right?
Yeah. That's probably the best gift that they can have.
Yeah, I mean, that's worth the price of admission right there.
But we have a great time. I tell you, I don't know who has more fun. I've told you this before, I know, Ryan, whether the players that come, the campers, or the ex-players, the ex-Royals have more fun. And we have a blast.
Well, I told him, I said, I'll go if I can play short and hit fourth, because I've never done both.
And what'd I say? What'd I say?
He said I got to catch because he's older than I am. He goes, you got to catch. And I said, okay, we play the ball back to the pitcher.
Yeah, there's usually 6 teams, and we play 3 innings against each of those 6 teams one day. And I end up catching it almost 63 years old, like 7, 9 innings, something like that.
Oh.
So that's the reason that Jason's going to come this year.
That's why he's dragged me into this.
Well, it comes up all the time, and I mention this every year when we talk about fantasy camp, but I think it points to the camaraderie that you guys are talking about, because when a player retires, and Jason, you did that recently after parts of, 15 years in the major leagues, 15 years in the major leagues, 3 times to an all-star game is.
Hell, I played with HUD.
Yeah,
you've been around a long time.
But I wanted to congratulate you, too, because we haven't had a chance publicly to acknowledge the great career you had.
Heck of a career.
73 homers lifetime. Dude, that's more than I hit. How about you?
Us combined.
Okay.
And it's not that many, so I don't know what that says.
But when guys retire, the question always comes up, what are you going to miss the most about being a player? And I don't remember anybody saying, it was getting the big hits. It was the big ovations, on and on. It always seems to get back to, I'm going to just miss being around the guys every day and what happens in the clubhouse and on the road and all that camaraderie. And here's a chance for the fans to kind of see why guys say that when they retire.
Yeah, we had a great run from 76 to 85 when I played. We were in postseason 7 of those 10 years, Ryan, and a lot of those players still live in Kansas City. We have 35, I believe, ex-Royals who still live in Kansas City. We get together for this fantasy camp, and we have some meetings and other get-togethers throughout the year, and we still have that camaraderie. It is probably what you miss most, being in the locker room. And I fortunately am able to go around the minor leagues still with the Royals and be around young kids and be around the young kids here with the Royals. And it's fun. It's fun to be around young guys in the game of baseball and try to impart some of the knowledge that you gain and some of the stories you had through the years.
Jason, how are you handling it so far?
I have 0 regrets.
Really?
I love every bit of it. I gave it a shot. It didn't work out. I'd rather be able to play catch with my kids than have a metal shoulder and be able to throw darts. But I have no regrets. You know what? The one thing I have fun doing it. I mean, you get to do something special out here every night, and it's a pretty cool gig. So I did it as long as I could do it, and I had fun.
I have a ton of respect for both of you guys. I like hard ball players, and I love seeing that slide. We need
to see that.
You're trying to get that second baseman with your foot, knock him down, play the game right,
Absolutely.
play it hard, and that way you don't have any regrets when you retire.
None. I can look myself in the mirror every night after every game I played, and whether it was 0 for 4 or 4 for 4, and I know that I did it the right way.
Well, Jason, when you're my age, you're going to be talking about you don't know what you're going to do when you grow up and have to get a real job.
Guys, thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it.
And, you guys are outstanding.
I'll just echo what HUD said. Jason, congratulations on a great career.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Glad you spent part of it here in Kansas City.
It was fun.
became the ALS Association Keith Worthington chapter's first and only executive director in January of 1988. And over the past 25 years, it has grown to a regional organization that serves Kansas, Nebraska, and western Missouri. She has helped raise millions of dollars to fight Lou Gehrig's disease, as well as put in place new and innovative services. And tonight, she's enjoying the game from the Buck O'Neill legacy seat. Eric Hosmer, there's a solid base hit to left field, and we showed you in the first inning that a year ago tomorrow, Eric Hosmer hit 2 home runs in one game against Tigers pitcher Rick Porcello.
Yeah, and Porcello looked like they were a couple breaking balls, so he's not going to throw him any of those right now. The fastball up and away. Short, compact, hit it right where it was supposed to be hit. Swinging the bat a lot better here this month.
And he jumps out to a big lead against Porcello. Sinker ball pitchers are always good guys to run on. And Hosmer, who is seen as a power hitter, has 12 stolen bases. That's one more than he had last year with the Royals.
Good athlete. He's only been caught one time, too, so nice percentage.
And Porcello, in a situation like this with his sinker, his MO is pretty obvious. Get a ground ball and a double play. And one great way to combat that is to send the runner. Take away the ground ball and a double play.
And try to stay inside the ball as a hitter. If you try to pull everything, you roll your top hand over and you hit ground ball. So if you stay inside the ball, your hands don't roll over. They go the other way. Find a hole out that way now. Right fielder Brendan Bosch is very shallow for Gio, showing him no respect to the opposite field.
And a slow roller, and Hosmer is tagged out. He wasn't able to avoid the tag. Thought he could get past Infante, and the Tigers do get a double play.
Yep. You know, it's hard when you don't have much time to make up your mind. That's the natural reaction, is to try to get out of the way to avoid the tag. But he's just saying that to himself right there. You can slide and take him out right in the middle of the baseline. And that's a legal play. You don't have to try to avoid the run, but it's hard. You don't think that quick.
I remember a number of years ago, Albert Bell playing for the Indians and Fernando Vina playing for the Brewers caught a ground ball on the right side, and Albert Bell had time to think about it.
He did, and he lowered the boom on him. He didn't slide into him. He just and you can run him over with your shoulder, but you don't stand over the guy after you do it and look at him. You keep running and you keep going, and that's where Albert made the mistake. It made it look like he did it on purpose.
I'm assuming, and I'll bet I'm correct, that Fernando Vina for the rest of his career never just stood in the baseline and expected the runner to just come in and let him tag him out after what happened with Albert Bell. Albert knocked him into left field.
Yeah,
and then, as you said, stood over him.
Yep. Albert was a hard ball player. He was a tough guy. Got to know your runners.
Now Kane walks with 2 outs. And the first walk given up by Porcello. Hey, Royals fans, you can meet Billy Butler at the U.S. Toy Store in Leawood. That's coming up on Saturday from 11 a.m. until noon. You can get an autograph from Billy. And for more information on that and other upcoming Royals events, visit royals.com/community.
Get a chance to meet Billy, you're going to see a big smile. He'll talk to you. Very personable guy.
And he and his wife Katie, they do just about anything the Royals ask them to do in the community.
Got to have a guy like him.
And I think Kansas Cityans, Royals fans, they know that, they appreciate that, and what a wonderful ovation he got at the All-Star game representing the Royals. And you said if you meet Billy, you're going to see a smile on his face and he's going to talk to you. I mean, you could see he was genuinely touched when that ovation just seemed to get louder and louder, and he was able to just soak in all the love from the home crowd, and now you have a chance to meet him. So Escobar lines out. The Royals strand Kane at first, and we have no score at the end of 3. It is a Frenchie Quarter Thursday. You can join your fellow Royals fans and support Jeff Francoeur in his fan seating section. $21 gets you a seat out there, a limited edition Frenchie Quarter t-shirt, and Mardi Gras beads. And the next Frenchie Quarter is coming up on September 6th, and you can get your tickets right now at Royals.com/Frenchie. And that game on September 6th will be against the Texas Rangers.
Keep your eye on that ball.
Giavotella makes the play on the pop-up from Delman Young. He's 0 for 2.
Ball goes up this time of night. It's hard to pick it out of that sky. It's the same color as the ball.
Here's tonight's Toyota League leaders.
So can we brag on Moose a little bit?
With numbers like that, you can. Second best fielding percentage, the most assists, the most chances, and he has started the most double plays, or been involved in the most double plays.
So it's only a matter of time before these guys get seasoned and they get a year or two under their belt where they'll start getting rewarded for that, and they call that the Gold Glove. Fox Sports Kansas City did a nice article on their website on Gold Gloves, and they talked about the potential for guys in the infield that could get those someday.
The column by Jeffrey Flanagan. 2 balls and 1 strike on Brennan Bosch. Well, and it's not part of the equation. It shouldn't be part of the equation, but it just is, that when he begins to produce in the major leagues at the plate too. I mean, there are very few Gold Glove winners that do nothing at the plate, and it's unfortunate, but offense does play a role in certain players getting Gold Gloves over others. Alex Gordon winning the Gold Glove in left field last year and had an excellent year at the plate. And on cue, a dive, a throw, and an out.
Wow, you know, that's special to make a backhand play like that on a speedy runner, a guy who runs well. But when you have a first baseman that's very agile and that can stay on the base without jumping, that's a tough play there for Hosmer. Moose, we see him do this in his sleep. But Hosmer, if he jumps up off the base, they miss him. But look at how he kept his toe on there. He just got all the way up on his toe. Oh, man, that was special. There's gold on the corners in the future. And if you look to Moustakas' left, Escobar, once he gets some time in, he'll get a gold glove too one of these days, and Salvador Perez, of course. So when you see this night in and night out, that's why you start talking about it. Then when we show you numbers, look at that, just a concentration to stay on that base. The tendency is to jump and catch it. But to have a tall first baseman helps.
1-2 on Johnny Peralta. And he's still relatively new to this position, Mike Moustakas. He did not play third base in high school. He did not play third base in his first full season in the minor leagues. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mike Moustakas was a shortstop coming up through high school, and because he was so comfortable at that position, the Royals kept him there when he was drafted in 2007. He played shortstop for most of 2008, so it wasn't really until 2009 that he was a full-time third baseman. So we're just talking 3 years ago.
No, but you know how hard these guys work really is a testament of why he's so good. He works at it. You don't just show up. You got to work. I saw him in spring training way before anybody got to the ballpark at 8 o'clock in the morning. He's out there in the batting cage catching balls off the machine. You normally throws to hitters. I never saw a fielder go in there with his glove and work on his reaction after that machine throws the ball and he's got his glove out there and he's catching. So he works.
Two and two. And Peralta, after a long at bat, gets a base hit into left field, so he's on with 2 outs. It's been an excellent month for the Royals as a team. They're 16-11, and specifically on the mound, the Royals have the second lowest team ERA in the month of August. So, who is the Royals pitcher of the month? Is it A, Bruce Chen, B, Jeremy Guthrie, who at one point had 24 consecutive innings without allowing a run, Greg Holland 9 for 9 in save opportunities, or Luis Mendoza? Text 432-432. Enter keyword Royals, followed by a space, and then A, B, C, or D.
I can tell you who I like, all of them, but Holland has been the most impressive to me.
And with such a strong bullpen again this year, the Royals have done very well in 1-run games. And most of the time, if a team has a good record, or if they have a bad record in 1-run games, you can point directly to the bullpen. And the Royals have won a couple of 1-run games in the series with Detroit. They are 22-16 in 1-run games, thanks to the work of Greg Holland and the Royals bullpen. A lot of foul balls for the Tigers in this inning. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Infante.
52 pitches for Guthrie, 39 strikes, only 13 balls. So he's a strike thrower, but wants to stay out of the middle.
To Moustakas. He'll go the short way, and the force at second base to get Peralta to the bottom of the fourth. No score. And another defensive gem turned in by Mike Moustakas for the second out of this inning.
Come on Saturday, folks. You can get those antlers. The Moustakas.
By your Midwest Ford dealer, and by AT&T, the world's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And we have no score as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Rick Porcello has lost his last 3 starts. Part of it has been his fault with an ERA of 5.5. The other part is a lack of run support. The Tigers have scored a run and a half for him on average over those 3 starts. And they haven't scored 1 run for him so far tonight. They have 5 hits against Jeremy Guthrie, but no runs. And it seems every year, every team has one guy that just doesn't get the run support. And lately, for the Tigers, it's been Rick Porcello.
You know, giving up 88 hits now, counting the 2 tonight he's given up. That's a lot. That's the most in the majors. Maybe he could move some hitters off the plate. Maybe pitch inside a little more. Maybe, you know, hitters seem to be pretty comfortable up there.
Alex made contact with that ball?
No, it just clanked off of Laird's glove.
Okay, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He does have 6 hit batters this year. I'm not saying you have to hit batters, but Laird just missed that one.
And Alex, who already has a base hit to left, goes the other way and breaks a bat.
So he'll go over to the on-deck circle and he'll take care of a new bat by putting some Manny Mota Stickum on there. They call that the Mota Stick. And there's other interesting things that are in that batter's circle that some people may not know what hitters use to help keep their hands on the bat.
Alex strikes out, and that's 3 for Porcello. 1 away in the fourth. So you got your rosin bag down there. You've got your pine tar rag. I never heard it being referred to as the Manny Mota Stick. Was he the one who introduced it?
Yeah, it's the Mota Stick. Okay, this is what hitters put on their bat to help them get loose. It's a weighted bat. Okay, this is a conventional bat right here. Excuse me. It's a loaded bat. This right here has it has sand in it. See that little bat there? That's a bat. And so hitters can pick that up and they can swing it. It's got sand in it. It weights it down. So if that's where you've heard, this is the Moda stick. And you never heard that, Brian?
I know what it is. I haven't heard it called the Moda stick.
Yeah, Manny Moda. It's named after him. And there's a conventional donut over here. You see that? That's what they used to have. That's what they used to use to get loose. Just a regular donut that you put over your bat. And, of course, the pine tar rag is there for help them with the grip. They have a rosin bag like the pitcher. That's the rosin bag and the pine tar right
and
there.
You usually put the pine tar on first and then the rosin bag, the rosin on the pine tar, right?
Right. Rosin goes over the pine tar. Helps it really get gunky and sticky for the guys.
Gunky?
Well, it kind of it clods up a little bit. It makes it nice and sticky.
Is that a thesaurus word?
No.
Gunky?
No.
Okay.
That's just a word that came to mind. But all those things hitters are used to having when they go up there in the on-deck circle to get loose.
Billy with a base hit into right field. That's his 16th hit of the year against the Tigers. 1 on, 1 out. Now the weighted bat, as you said, they use it to get loose. And then when you pick up your bat, it feels a lot lighter, right?
It does, and you're trying not to trick your muscles, but it does make your bat feel lighter. See, Moose is getting loose with that, and that's the
sleeve, right?
The sleeve, the device that I like to use. I didn't want to pick up another bat because it didn't feel like my bat, so I'm going to use my bat and I'm going to put a sleeve on it, and that particular sleeve puts the balance right on the head of right on the meat where you want to make contact. That's the best one for me. And Moose likes it too.
But we could watch all 9 guys in the on-deck area tonight, and all 9 of them probably have a completely different routine.
Right, now see, now he's putting that Moda stick. That's a very sticky substance in that stick. So you put it on the handle just like he did, down on the knob so it doesn't slip.
Now, Moustakas also does something with his pine tar that I've seen guys do over the years. A foul ball by Salvador Perez, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he's got the handle of Moustakas' bat looked to be pretty clean. They put the Moda stick, but then above the handle, he's got some pine tar that he can, I guess in the middle of that bat, he can just grab that pine tar. So it's not on the handle, it's just above the handle.
Right, he touches it and it gives him a little stickum. But then the rosin bag takes some of the stickum off, because it can be too sticky sometimes, and you can't take your fingers off of it. And in the heat that you have in Kauffman, this Moda stick here, it comes off. It really has some chunks, and it could be nasty. So that rosin bag kind of takes some of the stick away.
Short hop by Cabrera, and the Tigers turn that into a double play. They're second in the last 2 innings. So we've played 4, and after a 1-0 game last night, we are scoreless.
By former Missouri star quarterback Corby Jones, who is calling Mizzou's first game of the weekend, and that'll be on pay-per-view with Fox Sports. Mizzou and Southeastern Louisiana, and those initial games are never the big ones on the schedule. With that said, I'll ask this question I do every year. Can you believe it's already here?
No, I never can. That's who I am, though. It's college football is what I live for. It's so much fun. But, no, I really can't believe that it's that time again.
No, and so a 6 p.m. start in Columbia, and you and I were just talking off camera, and for the fans that are going or for those that are going to want to try to get this on TV, the Hurricane is, and the remnants of it, moving up this way. You know this as a quarterback, and especially for a first game. Boy, how interesting will this be with potential weather?
It should be fine, honestly. Mizzou should be just, honestly, it should be just fine. My issue is this game should be delayed, and it could be delayed so many times that nobody knows what's going to happen. But I had to deal with natural grass. These guys are playing on turf. It's a different deal completely.
All right, let's talk about Mizzou. And, of course, when we talk now about Mizzou, everybody wants to know about the SEC. And, I would even think for a guy, I know everybody's excited about it from Tiger standpoint, but you played all those games against those opponents here in this region, and now you're talking about SEC. Do you mixed feelings, or what do you think about it?
Honestly, the nostalgia of it makes me miss the old Big 12/Big 8, whatever. But in reality, it is what it is. It's progression. The offenses have progressed. Defenses have progressed. So now we just got to move forward. It's going to be great to see the novelty of seeing these new teams come in and the talent and the speed and the physicality of the SEC. I'm excited about it.
I wanted to ask you about that. Having seen, as we're going to see the pop-up to Alcides Escobar there, having scouted football, watched football your whole life, and as a broadcaster now, what's the difference? What is Mizzou going to be up against? What's a James Franklin going to be up against in the SEC?
Honestly, it shouldn't change a whole lot. Will Muschamp, when he left Texas and took the head coaching job at Florida, said the biggest difference was the defensive line. He said it wasn't just the speed, because everyone has speed nowadays, but defensive line speed and the physicality of the defensive ends, including the power of those defensive ends. Everybody down there has at least one first or second rounder on their team. And so from a defensive line standpoint, it changes things a lot.
Fans are going to be watching plenty of football on Saturday all across, and whether it be KU fans here, K-State fans here, Mizzou fans, they'll want to check out mutigers.com for more information on how to get the game. All right, you said you're excited this time of year. What about the players? They've been going through the two-a-days. They've been going through the stuff that I know none of you want to do, but you have to do. So how much at this point, everywhere across the nation, are these guys just itching?
Live action. Everybody is tired of hitting their friends. You want to go hit somebody else and make them pay for it. And honestly, the coaches really want to see what it's about watching live bullets. How do you react to live bullets? How do you react to the lights? How do you react to the $100,000 people in the stands? It's amazing.
Well, we get a nice view out here of Lorenzo Cain. And he's an athlete. That's a guy that has football type of skills, although he has chosen the baseball route. How does Mizzou, we know how good this offense has been now and what Gary Pinkel has been able to do there, but you miss a guy like a Henry Josie. How do you get beyond those kind of injuries?
That's not a huge one, just because Lawrence and Murphy behind him. Lawrence was a starter last year. Josie came in after that and took over and did his job and did very well. Josie may be a little faster, maybe a little more explosive. Lawrence, on the other hand, is the same type of back. Both these kids are 5'9", or all three of these kids are 5'9", 5'10", 200 pounds in that area. So, Mizzou recruits a certain type of back.
They also have recruited very well in the state, including this area, and a couple of big names coming out of this region, some just known by initials, as a matter of fact. And then you got an Evan Bames starting on the offensive line. How about just the ability to pull kids out of this area and having done it for so long?
It's tremendous. And Andy Hill recruits this area very hard. He's a great recruiter. He's a great man. He's a great football coach, and that's what it really means. When you can get kids out of your own state, and you can be that person and be that personable, that people react to other people, and they react to the personalities that they encounter, and that's why they've been so successful.
It's going to be really interesting to watch this year, and always fun to get the football season started. Corby will have the call of the game this weekend from Columbia against Southeastern Louisiana. Again, you can check it out and look at getting that game at mutigers.com for more information. Last thing, did you ever play any baseball? I know you were a great football star.
I played baseball in college. but I got hurt twice. My sophomore and junior year, and Coach Smith said, we're done with this.
You kind of had a little bit riding. Coach Smith wanted to make sure that football career was going well, which it did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I understood what he was talking about, and it's amazing how you can go through four football years of not being seriously injured, and then go baseball, and you tear tendons and whatnot, and it's amazing.
Well, it was a great career, and looking forward to seeing you on the broadcast throughout the year. Corby, thanks for the visit, as always.
All right, brother. Thank you.
That is Corby Jones. We're enjoying things out here in right field. Just saw Jose Valverde throwing a couple of tosses warming up. The hairstyle, as unique as always, guys.
Thanks, Joel. I once caught a pass from Corby Jones.
You did?
Yeah.
You could hold on to it even?
In a charity football game. It was at Rockhurst.
Was it an easy catch?
Sports Radio 810 here in town. Put on a game called the Turkey Bowl. And he threw a pass to me downfield that went over the moon on its way. And I thought to myself, so this is how a big-time quarterback throws a football.
Good arm.
Oh, man. It's a scoreless fifth inning for Jeremy Guthrie and 5 scoreless innings tonight. So he's back on track. No score at Kauffman Stadium. Bottom of the fifth inning. Hey, Royals fans, be sure to stop by and pick up your Royals Taco Bell 4 for $44 deal. That includes 4 Royals game tickets, 4 hats, and 4 Taco Bell combo meals, all for $44. And this deal is good for any Royals home game. You can get your tickets by going to royals.com/Taco Bell. Well, at this point last night, it was 1-0 Royals, and that was the final score. And now 0-0 to the bottom of the fifth as Mike Moustakas leads off against Rick Porcello. And he went too far on a curveball. Moustakas grounded to second base in the second inning. One ball, one strike. Moustakas, Francoeur, and Hosmer coming up. The Royals have 3 hits in the first 4 innings against Porcello. And Porcello has walked one. Changeup is low, 2-1. Two and two. Royals begin a 3-game series with Minnesota tomorrow night, while the Tigers will head home. And they have a very important series that begins tomorrow as they take on the Chicago White Sox. Tigers still have 7 games to play with Chicago. And 2.5 games back in the standings after Chicago lost earlier today against Baltimore. So 2.5 back in the standings, and the Tigers are 3 games back in the wild card.
Well, the Royals, a couple big hits could send them back home reeling a little bit before their big series.
And there's a good start to the inning. Moustakas to the gap, past Jackson, end to the wall. Runner at second base with nobody out.
Well, that was a great at bat there. He was fouling off some pitches to the left side. Looked like he wanted to shoot that ball to left field. We don't see him go that way very often, but he waited him out. Ball was on the outer half, and he got the barrel there for a clean double.
And that's the first time tonight the Royals have had a runner at second base. "28 doubles for Mike Moustakas. And now Francoeur pulls it foul.
Sometimes when you're in a slump, you try to pull your way out of it. And because that's your strength, is to pull the ball. That's where his power is. So he's trying to come out of it with a big swing.
And a breaking ball for a strike. And Francoeur caught looking in the second inning, looking at a fastball, now down 0-2.
Sure would help him out a little bit confidence wise if he could find a hole. Just 194 this year with the runner in scoring position.
Trying to shoot it the other way, still 0-2. Trying to take the wrap out of his swing.
Yeah,
and it looks like as the pitch is coming in, Hud, he's trying to straighten his bat head. Watch his bat head as the pitch comes in from Porcello. He's trying to get it more upright as opposed to, you know, arced over his helmet pointed to the pitcher.
Right, and then when a hitter comes through, it's a long swing and it loops lots of times, and so you pop some balls up. See that starting position, but really, if he wanted to make a drastic change, he could just lay that bat down towards the backstop, and then you just throw it right through the zone. So sometimes guys will make drastic changes, and Frenchie has not. He's just trying to make a shorter path to the ball. Said he wants to be shorter.
Look out.
If they could get him hot for the last 20 some odd games, that would really help.
Could be a tough play, and Infante does not make the play, but it drops foul.
So that's the one. When you're not going good, that's not a fair ball. When you're going good, it hits the chalk.
And then the right fielder falls down and it turns into a double.
With an RBI. Okay, watch how his hand came off the bat. He didn't have enough pine tar on it. See that? Slipped off.
And hanging in there, he's fouled off 5 in this at bat. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Last year at this time, Jeff Francoeur was hitting .280. He had 4 more home runs and more than double the RBIs. Also finished the season with 47 doubles.
This year he just has 19.
Just missed outside. So after falling behind 0-2 and fouling off 5 pitches, 3 balls, 2 strikes with Hosmer on deck.
Hey, Gerald Laird, you watch him, he's moving late. And that's because the Moose at second base is watching and doesn't want to give location to Frenchie. So catchers, they move when the pitch is on the way. Watch Gerald Laird. He'll move now. Ooh.
Lined into center field. And Francoeur puts an end to an 0 for 19 at a great time with a great at-bat.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, that was perfect. He waited. He knew Porcello had to come in there. He worked the count to 3-2. And look at all those pitches Frenchie saw there. And he got one right down the middle. And now that's the short swing. Look at that. That's pretty. He hit it so hard that couldn't score Moose from third. Nobody out. There's no need in trying to rush him home with some good hitters coming up.
Let's go to Joel. All right, we'll get to Joel in just a moment. First and third, nobody out, and now Eric Hosmer, who singled first time up. It gets past Laird, but Moustakas didn't come down the line. Might have been a good call by him. Francoeur moves up to second base on the wild pitch, but that ball came off the netting, and Laird didn't have to run all the way to the screen to get it.
Yeah, you know, when you're not 100% sure you can't make it on a ball like that with nobody out, the situation calls for you just to stay home, and that's what he did.
Hosmer singled to left first time up. And that caught the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So right man, the right spot. His numbers are climbing with runners in scoring position. Now he's at 283.
I don't think that was a strike. 1-2. And that one gets away from Laird. He can't find it. And again, Moustakas holds. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Laird immediately thought the ball had gone by him, and he was looking toward the advertising panel behind home plate.
Laird looks like he's having a hard time seeing the ball tonight behind the plate. See, moves to the top of your screen. Didn't have any ideas of coming home on that.
And they want to pitch inside, and Laird blocks it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Porcello has thrown 4 wild pitches this season, and now 5 with the 1 in this inning, and now 2 other pitches in the dirt. So he's making Laird work, and Hosmer has taken the count from 1-2 to 3-2, and now home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez flinched, and it's ball 4 to load the bases with nobody out. That's Jeff Jones, Tiger pitching coach, out to talk with Porcello, who hadn't allowed more than 1 base runner in any of his first 4 innings, but now a double by Moustakas. Jeff Francoeur was down 0-2. And he won a long battle with a base hit, then a wild pitch, and then Hosmer coming back from 1 ball, 2 strikes, and walking to load the bases. So a big spot for Johnny Giavotella with 3 on, nobody out, and no score in the bottom of the 5th.
Gio is 1 for 3 with the bases loaded this year. You want to be ready for the first pitch if it's a good one, because he wants to try to get ahead of you. And try to think right back up the middle.
And that's a pitch Porcello wanted him to chase and hit on the ground. Instead, it's ball one.
Okay, it's a nice take. Be ready for the first strike. First good one. Get Guthrie a lead.
1-1. Those two pitches from Porcello with great bite to him and with action like a changeup, and then look up at the radar gun. The first pitch was 91, the second one was 93.
That's a good sink in action.
Got a pitch up, deep short, and the Tigers will get an out at second base. That's all. A run will score as Giavotella drives in Moustakas, and the Royals have a 1-0 lead.
Okay, with that ball moving down in the zone like that, that good hard sink, that's kind of now you see it, now you don't, and he was able to get the top half of it in, but he moved Peralta, so they can only get one out, but they got another ribby, and see if Kane can get some more.
And Lorenzo tonight is 0 for 1 with a ground out and a walk. Almost hit him on the shoulder, ball one. This is Lorenzo's first game against Rick Porcello. You may have heard yesterday Ned Yost was talking about allowing Omaha to go through the playoffs. They've been working all year to try and win a championship, as they did last year, and the Royals want them to do the same this season before taking players away from the roster. And so Lorenzo Cain didn't get up last year until the very end of the year. He's played a handful of games with the Royals. And so while the Royals see a lot of the Tigers and Rick Porcello every year, this is Cain's first game against Porcello. Fouled it off of his foot. Lorenzo appeared in just 6 games for the Royals last year and played 128 for AAA Omaha. Francoeur at third base, Giavotella at first. Giavotella has 1 stolen base for the Royals this year. And Porcello thinks he might take off. He's not running, and that's a strike right over the inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sort of.
Yeah, that's Cain's pitch, though. He's quick enough in there to get that.
This will be the 30th pitch of the inning for Porcello. And Cain, did he go? No swing. Craig Gibson is the first base umpire. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So Porcello went right back to that same spot. Cain still has to look fastball and adjust to a breaking ball here with 2 strikes. Runner out there at third base. Got to get him home.
Line foul. And another 2-2. He did not make contact. First base is occupied, so Kane has nowhere to go, and Porcello picks up his 4th strikeout.
Hey, that's some good pitching right there. He was careful to stay out of the middle of the plate.
Never really gave him anything good to hit.
No, he didn't. And Kane was a little bit baffled. He wasn't sure what to look for and what not to. But you have to look hard heater, and if you want to make an adjustment, move up in the box towards the pitcher. A guy who throws a sinker, catch it a little bit before it reaches its full sink.
So now Escobar 0 for 2 tonight. The league's best hitter at home. And Porcello did just about every hitter in this inning. Starting him off with a pitch in the dirt, hoping the hitter will chase it and roll it over for a ground ball.
Cabrera at third base, he's standing in front of third on the grass. He's not sure about Escobar, if he can feel bunt or not.
And the Royals haven't tested Cabrera yet, and they knew coming into the series that he had a bad ankle. He didn't play on Sunday.
Ooh, man, look at that. That's the best in baseball, I believe, with 2 outs.
So Escobar hitting .328.
Yeah, and with your third baseman Cabrera in on the grass, that opens up a big hole. You can shoot that ball right there, right by him for a double, single.
And it's back to Porcello, and out of all that, the Royals get 1, but they have the lead as Giavotella drives in Moustakas. 1-0 KC.
Some news and notes from around the league. The Oakland A's just keep getting it done. A 6-game road winning streak as they wrap things up with a victory in Cleveland today. AL wildcard leader. How about the Orioles? Implications in this division with the Tigers beating the White Sox today. They are within 3 of the Yankees in the American League East. And Will Myers going deep today. A loss for AAA Omaha's Nate Adcock gets knocked around in that game for 7 earned runs. But Will Myers with his 36th home run on the season, 23rd for Omaha. As you guys mentioned, they're getting ready for the playoffs. Jake Odorizzi, by the way, started last night and looking like he will be the starter for the beginning of the playoffs next week. And one other note to pass along, and this one I think will make all of us happy. Mitch Meyer, who started off a little bit rough there, now batting over 300, so good for Mitch.
Who was a big Tigers fan growing up, just outside of Detroit. Thank you, Joel. 1 ball, 1 strike on Prince Fielder. He'll be followed by Delman Young and Brennan Bosch as Jeremy Guthrie has pitched 5 scoreless innings. giving up 6 hits. All of those are singles and no walks. Line to right field. Francoeur doesn't get it, and it's all the way to the fence. And luckily for the Royals, it's Fielder running, because that's a double.
Wow, and that ball, it had backspin on it, and you could hang a week's worth of laundry on that liner. That thing was still going up when it went by Frenchie. So that was a tough read.
So Fielder has 2 hits. That's his 27th double. And the Tigers come right back with a leadoff double. That's how the Royals, bottom of the 5th, started and resulted in a run. Delman Young is 0 for 2.
Okay, Fielder, he's a good athlete. Look at him. He saw that ball. He thought Frenchie was going to catch it. Then he turns it on.
Moustakas backhands. Delman Young is out, and Fielder remains at second base.
When you make a play in the hole like that and you don't stay on top of the ball will sail. But Moose does a great job of staying on top when he has time to set his feet. That impresses me. There's a lot of things that impress me about his game, but he pays attention to detail, and look at him right over the top. The ball stays straight as a string when you do that.
And you will oftentimes see him, even before batting practice, he comes out and he throws a football. And that's kind of where he gets that motion. He was an excellent high school quarterback. He broke his leg his junior year, so that would put an end to his football career, knowing that he'd be a high round pick in baseball. But he had a strong arm as a quarterback, and you really see him emphasizing going over the top, throwing the football, and it translates when he gets the baseball in his hand. Fielder at second base with 2 outs as Guthrie gets Brennan Bosch on 1 pitch. A couple of teammates with the Milwaukee Brewers. Alcides Escobar and Prince Fielder. Johnny Peralta has singled, and he lost a base hit on a sliding play in center field by Lorenzo Cain. A ground ball to Giavotella. Leadoff double, and Fielder never gets to third base. To the bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Royals. In town for a 3-game series tomorrow, and it's Buck Night and Fireworks Friday. Hot dogs, peanuts, and soft drinks are just $1 each. Then stay after the game for Friday Night Fireworks, presented by Hy-Vee and Pepsi. Go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Alex Gordon, Billy Butler, Salvador Perez coming up in our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Travis Reed from Marshall, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Travis wins $1,100. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Travis wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Rick Porcello worked out of a bases loaded, nobody out in the 5th inning, allowing just 1 run. And then in the top of the 6th, the Tigers got a leadoff double against Jeremy Guthrie, and they failed to score. And once again, run support is an issue for Rick Porcello. Told you a couple of innings ago he's lost his last 3 starts. He hasn't pitched great, but he also has received almost no run support. Less than 2 runs per start in those 3. And now nothing in 6 innings tonight. Frederick Alfred Porcello out of Morristown, New Jersey.
I like him. He throws strikes. He's got movement. Get up, ball.
Bosch is back. He's at the wall. Off the top of the wall and gone.
And that's a winner.
Congratulations to Travis Reed from Marshall, Missouri. $1,100 as Alex Gordon hits his 10th home run of the year and gives the Royals a 2-0 lead.
Hey, Porcello finally threw one with no movement on it. His ball all night's been sinking nicely, and that ball sunk right over the wall and hit the top of it, and Alex is going good.
And now Billy Butler, who's 1 home run shy of 100, and he didn't get it. And now he's digging for second base as Dirks had trouble in left field. So a home run and a double to greet Rick Porcello in the bottom of the 6th inning. And for Billy Butler, that's his 2nd hit tonight.
They come in bunches for some reason. And that ball was 2 inches inside off the plate and up, and Billy's quick hands got to it. It helped that Dirks couldn't field it cleanly off the track. That's why there was no play at second.
Darren Downs, he was throwing last inning for the Tigers and getting ready again, and getting ready specifically for Moustakas, who's on deck.
Okay, this ball just stayed up. There wasn't any hard sink to it. It was must have been a 4-seamer, but 91, typically that's his sinker, so it didn't sink. His 4-seam fastball is 94. So you catch the pitcher's mistake, and he did that.
Well, this time around, moving to the number 3 spot has not affected Alex Gordon. Up the middle, base hit center field. And Butler will be held as Jackson fires back to the infield. 3 straight hits. A home run, a double, and a single. That's Perez's first hit. And now we'll see what Jim Leland's going to do. And as expected, with the lefty warming up and a left-hand batter coming to the plate, he will go to the bullpen.
Billy Butler really wanted to score on that. And Eddie Rodriguez, he waited and waited and waited and was going to give Billy a chance to score, and then he put his stop sign up right away. And that was good that he did that, because there's still nobody out.
Chevy
for Salvador Perez. Okay, got a good takeoff at second base. He hits the inside part of the base, but then he's got to put the brakes on because the last minute Eddie held him up, and I can't blame Eddie for that because there's nobody out. The throw was a little bit offline, but they might have had enough time to get the ball and throw him out. And why would you do that when you got Moose coming up and Frenchie, some guys that can knock him in? Got a 2-0 lead. Now they're going to have to face the lefty.
And it's Darren Downs who came on to face Mike Moustakas on Tuesday in game 1 and got him to fly out to left field. There is nobody warming up behind him in the Tigers bullpen, so unless Downs gets a triple play here, he's also going to face some right-hand batters. And Moustakas takes low for ball 1. He started the rally in the 5th with a double. Came around to score on Giovatella's ground ball. The Royals were hoping for a big inning as they had the bases loaded, nobody out in the 5th, but scored 1, and now a chance for another big inning here. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Sinker, slider, curve. Those are his pitches, and that ball was up and in. A fastball. He's not overpowering. And Moose got a hit earlier in the series off a big breaking ball, so they're staying fastballs with him.
And it's 1-2.
Phil Koch threw him a curve ball and he laced it down the line and got a big hit there. So now they're staying fastball on him here. Now maybe he'll try to bend one on him, but since he's blown him away with 2 fastballs, I mean, Moose looks like he's behind the fastball. He might just stay with it.
Pass Laird, and here comes Butler, who wanted to score. He is out.
And again, the net or the back of the backstop kicked the ball right back to Laird. Okay, Billy read it right, but didn't expect the kickback to come right to Laird, who barely left the batter's circle. That's good play by Downs. Pitchers aren't used to coming to the plate like that, looking to tag a runner, showing some agility there.
And now fly ball to shallow right. Bosch makes the play, so 2 down.
And that likely would not have scored Billy anyway.
That was scored a wild pitch. No caught stealing because on the same play Perez went up to second base. Almost exactly 3 years ago, Darren Downs was pitching in the Cubs organization. And here he's going to intentionally walk Jeff Francoeur. And in a game at Double-A, Darren Downs was hit on the side of the head by a line drive. He suffered a cracked skull, swelling in the brain. Right side of his face was paralyzed. And for a while, he was not able to speak. That's how hard he was hit, and most doctors were telling him that his professional career was over. But now 3 years later, he's made it to the big leagues with the Tigers, made his big league debut in early July, got his first major league win this month. Almost 3 years to the day from getting hit, he got his first big league win. So here's a guy who's easy to pull for. He's had quite a road to the big leagues.
Well, you know, that's amazing that he's back here. And then, like I said, how tough it is to make a play at the plate like that, knowing a guy's coming in sliding. It's Billy Butler, too. He's not exactly a little guy. But we need to see, did that ball kick off the net or the brick? Because there's some padding back there. If it hits the padding, Billy Butler's in standing up. Okay, so he kicks off his glove, hits the brick. That's what it was. It hit the brick and kicks right back to Laird. So can't blame Billy for that one.
1-1 on Hosmer.
However, Moose didn't go on a couple of them because they kicked back too, like that. So I think Billy Butler just wanted to show his speed.
You know, and not to get too technical here, but it hit the base of that stone wall. And that's why he got the true bounce. The stone wall actually has some texture. So if it would hit one brick up where the texture is or where the different colored bricks are, that thing would have kicked to the right or the left. But the base down there is where the ball hit and gave Laird a true bounce. And I don't think the Tigers could have done that again if they had tried. A lot of good fortune mixed in. It's another 1-run inning for the Royals. Alex Gordon leads off the inning with his 10th home run of the year. It was also a sonic slam worth $1,100. And at the end of 6, the Royals lead the Tigers 2-0. Brought to you by Panera Bread, now with 24 KC Metro locations. Visit us online at PaneraKansas.com. And by AT&T UVerse, the new wireless receiver from AT&T UVerse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. If you haven't visited yet, come out to the ballpark early and check out the Royals Hall of Fame out in left field. Jeremy Guthrie has 6 scoreless innings tonight, and he begins with Omar Infante, the number 8 hitter. Infante has fouled out to left and grounded into a force out. Gerald Laird after him, and then Austin Jackson. 1-1. He gets jammed and muscles it out into left field. Tigers have the leadoff man on in the 7th.
All right, let's check out Guthrie's windup, and we'll show you the big turn that he's got. Okay, when he turns his leg, freeze it right there. See, what he's doing is he's bringing his leg kick up like that, which is good, but he's getting more turn right there in his upper body. Okay, and that's creating a different angle. So when he comes out, he's got a little bit different movement on his two-seam fastball, and it's a nice compact delivery with a little more turn in it.
And now he throws a strike to Gerald Laird, and it's been that mechanical change that's led to some great improvements for him as far as the numbers go. Look at what he did in Colorado. Big ERA, home runs all over the place, high opponent's batting average, and when he pitched, his team was 6-13. His ERA is much better with the Royals. The home runs are down. The opponent's batting average is way down. Down to 245. Righties and lefties combined since coming to the Royals.
Gerald Laird's hot. He didn't like that call. Dave Island liked it. He likes what Guthrie's doing.
Pretty close. It looks bad because Perez wasn't set up inside, so he's reaching away from his body, but still pretty close to the strike zone. popped up, and Laird still screaming as he jogs about halfway up the first base line. He better be careful.
He might get kicked out.
Manny Gonzalez is a minor league fill-in showing a great deal of restraint. The Tigers should be grateful that Laird was not thrown out of the game. You chew on an umpire that much in front of everybody and you're still in there, you got to give some credit to the home plate umpire.
I agree with you. Let's get back in the dugout.
Perez down to first, and he throws it into right field.
Okay, you don't see that very often, and especially 2 errors in one game. As he got charged for an error earlier when he dropped a pop-up towards the first base side, and then he's off the mark there. Hosmer did all he could try to get it.
Austin Jackson is 0 for 3. He did line out to deep center field in the 5th inning. And going 0 for 3 after starting the series, going 5 for 7 with a couple of walks. Probably not a big surprise, but that is officially the first 2-error game for Salvador Perez with the Royals. One and two. Try to get him to chase a changeup, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Guthrie has already struck out Jackson twice tonight. Once swinging and once looking. Shallow center field, so Infante will stay put as Kane makes a play, and Jackson is 0 for 4. %59% going with Greg Holland in our Sprint You Call It question for tonight. The Royals pitcher of the month of August. Jeremy Guthrie getting 34%. Greg Holland going 9 for 9 in save opportunities after Jonathan Broxton was traded to the Cincinnati Reds.
Tremendous job for Guthrie. Salvi's out talking to him, saying, you know what, you're doing really well. You've only thrown 85 pitches, 63 for strikes. Let's go right after this guy.
I wondered how much of the conversation had to do with your latter point.
Because look who's coming up.
Right. And he would represent the go-ahead run. So Dirks followed by Cabrera. Dirks should get some good pitches to hit in this at-bat, and he takes a fastball inside for ball 1. Dirks is 1 for 3 tonight with a single. Cabrera has not hit a home run all year against the Royals and has just 4 RBIs all year against KC. 2 balls and no strikes.
He's trying to stay inside on him, and he's missed. So Dirks can expect a pitch he can hit here.
And he hits it foul off to the left field side.
But it was on the outer half, which was good. That's why he didn't hit it. Fair. Two and 0 with Fielder hitting behind you, with Cabrera hitting behind you like that. With 2 outs, you know you're going to get something good to hit.
3-1.
You would think.
Now he should get something really good to hit. And he hits it in the air to left field. Alex Gordon makes a play. Perhaps the biggest out tonight for Jeremy Guthrie and the Royals. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium. 2-0.
Not too far removed from minor league baseball, and the Royals with a couple of affiliates that are heading to or playing in the playoffs right now, and one would be the Burlington Royals, who tie up their best-of-3 series with Johnson City tonight with a 4-2 win. And that is an interesting note because leading the way, their number 3 hitter, Bubba Starling, 2 for 3 with a run and 2 RBIs. Both teams will play to advance in the playoffs tomorrow night. So good news for Bubba Starling and company.
All right, thank you, Joel. Here is Brian Villarreal and another Chevy call to the bullpen for the Tigers. And like Darren Downs before him, we saw Villarreal in game 1 on Tuesday, and he gave up the game-winning run. It was a base hit off of Phil Koch from Mike Moustakas, but the run was charged to Villarreal. And he'll get Johnny Giavotella, Lorenzo Cain, and Alcides Escobar in the bottom of the 7th. The Royals breaking a scoreless tie in the 5th with 1 run on Giavotella's RBI groundout, and Giavotella grounds to Peralta for out number 1. And then the Royals got a home run from Alex Gordon with nobody on in the 6th. Time for tonight's AT&T trivia question. Who is the Tigers' all-time home run leader at Kauffman Stadium? Well, we know that associate producer Al Broughton, if possible, will make some sort of a connection to what's going on tonight. Now, Prince Fielder is on the field for the Tigers. Was it his father, Cecil Fielder? And I've been told the answer is no.
That would be a good guess. One and 2 on Cain, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. Now, you can't count the home run derby
No.
in this All-Star game, Ken, because Prince Fielder, he hit 28 homers.
Yeah, I don't think they're counting the home run derby, HUD.
I knew that.
They're also not counting batting practice. I think this would be regular season games. How about a couple of guys who played about 18 years with the Tigers?
Trammell, Whitaker?
Alan Trammell or Lou Whitaker? Still 2-2 on Kane.
Lance Parrish.
We're hanging zeros so far. How about Bobby Higginson?
Whoa, well that might, he was a good left-handed power hitter.
3-2 on Kane with Escobar on deck. Whoa. Time for the answer. Bobby Higginson. How about that?
Ding, 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 ding.
Can't teach that, HUD.
No, you have skills.
Yeah, it might have been ball 4, but with Kane's speed, even if Infante backhanded it, that was going to be a base hit. And Lorenzo is on with 1 out.
Yep, sometimes when you get off balance and you're out on your front foot, you still have your hands left to slap the ball, and if you hit it in a good spot, you got a chance for a knock, especially with the good speed. That's what happened there.
Escobar has grounded out twice, and he's lined to second base. Strike 1 from Villarreal.
He got a good mid-90s fastball and a slider.
And now no balls, 2 strikes.
So if you get a swing from a batter like that, you might as well go back to another one, see if he'll do it again.
Kane is 6 for 6 in stolen base attempts. Not running. And a breaking ball just a little bit inside. Now remember, last half inning, Laird and home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez were at odds on a pitch to really this part of the plate. Now, Fox tracks to Laird, said it was a ball called a strike. This time, a strike called a ball.
And no word from Laird, because he knows that if he's any more words that come out of his mouth, he might be out of the game. So here's the pitch to Laird. Okay, across the plate, Salvi framed it up nicely for Mr. Gonzalez, the umpire. And Gerald didn't like it. He said a few words to it, and Gonzalez told him politely, probably, get back in the box. Popped up the next pitch, ran off the field, had some more words with him. He let him stay in the game. And now that pitch there, he didn't say a word. Alex Avila's having a day off today, so you don't want to have to get Alex Avila back up there.
Pass Cabrera. Peralta gets the force at second base on Kane, who comes up grabbing his right leg. And hopefully it's because he landed on it and got a raspberry on the back of the leg instead of pulling a hamstring. Ripped his hands pretty good.
Yep, you would sure hope that would be the case. But he did land pretty hard on his backside.
So here's Alex, who homered to right field against Porcello last time up. He's 2 for 3. That was his 10th home run of the year, and Alex has hit in 8 straight. That was his 50th multi-hit game of the year. It's our AT&T Uverse Reverse Replay.
Alex Gordon bounced one right off the top of the wall for his 10th home run. He's in double digits in homers now. That got it all started back in the 5th.
And now Jackson glides into left center field and makes the play on Alex to put an end to the 7th inning. To the 8th, Royals still in line for the sweep. 2-0 KC.
Right, 2-0 lead Guthrie's got. I'll tell you, the defense has been nice in this whole series. They got a chance to sweep the Tigers, who seem to be kittens all of a sudden here at Kauffman Stadium, but that defense has turned them away. Moose has been loose. Look at that play earlier by Hosmer. That was sweet. Guthrie working on it, but they need some more pitching and defense to get the sweep here late in this one.
And Guthrie right back on track. Got knocked around by the Red Sox on Saturday, giving up 7 runs in 2 2/3 innings, and that snapped his streak of 24 straight innings without allowing an earned run. But now tonight, back to 7 scoreless innings on just 8 hits and only 1 extra base hit. The Tigers have not scored a run since the 8th inning on Tuesday. So 16 consecutive scoreless innings, and one big problem for them over the last 2 is making something out of the leadoff man reaching. 8 times in the last 2 games the Tigers have had the leadoff man on. 3 times with a double. No runs. Not one time has that leadoff man come around to score.
Credit some good pitching. Guthrie, he's on his mark.
Got it in on him. A 3-1 pitch, gave him a fastball, and Alex runs up in left field for the first out. Well, Guthrie's been on the mark. The Royals have really been on the mark in the month of August on the mound. They have the 2nd lowest ERA this month. And when you look at the Royals month by month, what the pitchers have done is a good reflection of what the team has done. The Royals did not have a good month of April on the mound, and the team was 9 games below 500. But the Royals pitched well in May and in June. Not great. A very bad July, a 5.58 ERA in July, and the team suffered at 7-19. And now another good month on the mound, and as a result, the Royals are having an excellent August. It's their first winning August since 2000. Two balls and no strikes on Fielder. Prince is singled, and he is doubled, and his double was in the 6th inning, and it was leading off the inning, but he never got to third, let alone score. And that's base hit number 3. 3 hits tonight, 5 in the series for Prince Fielder.
You know, we talk about each pitcher before the game sponsored by Kia, and we give you keys for him to win. And if he does those, we like to reward him with a star. All right, keep Jackson off the base, 0 for 4. Keep the guys in the middle in the yard, no homers.
Those are stars?
No.
Okay.
This is the star.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, way to go, Guthrie.
Fair ball just inside the line. Fielder will go to third on the blue pit from Delman Young, who's 1 for 4.
Okay, that was a little thing that jammed it, and that made up for some of them hard balls that he's been hitting. That ball was in off his fist.
And now Jeremy Guthrie, 1 pitch shy of 100 tonight. He will come out. Brendan Bosch coming up, the left-hand hitter with some power. And so Guthrie gets another nice ovation. That's one ovation after another at home this month. He departs with runners at first and third. And it will be Tim Collins to face Brendan Bosch when we come back. Left-hand batter will sit, and Jeff Baker, a right-hand hitter, will bat for him. And it will be Tim Collins with Prince Fielder at third base and Delman Young at first.
Okay, great job by Guthrie to get us to this point. Those are his 2 runs out there, Guthrie's, however. Now Collins, I can see if he could get Baker to roll over into a nice little double play here if he could. He's more of a fly ball pitcher, though, and a strikeout pitcher. He's 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter this year. And pinch hitters that come in swinging like that are smart because they're in the game now. Do you see his numbers against lefties is one of the reasons why he's pinch hitting here. He's career 300 hitter against him.
But this year, 160 against left-hand pitching, and he's down no balls, 2 strikes. So Jim Leyland going with the span of his career,
right,
and not these numbers. This is what he's done with the Tigers. He started the season with the Cubs. Three pitches. Collins puts him away with a fastball at 95 for the second out.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Man, Jeff Baker, poor guy, he put a clean uniform on, got a good night's sleep. He took batting practice
all day.
He was ready for the game. He got the call. And before we could even talk about where he's played this year, he's back in the dugout.
It's tough business.
He might have even shaved before the game, too.
You know, he might have, but it's a tough business, pinch hitting, the hardest job in baseball. Now, with 2 outs here, see if the pinch runner goes. That's Barry. Barry's perfect this year in steals, 17 for 17. Would like to see him try to steal to get the tying run into second base there. Jim Leyland wouldn't mind that, but I really would like to see Salvador throw him out. The best against the best.
Johnny Peralta, 1 out of 3 with a 4th inning single tonight. Barry is not running, and Peralta takes high and away.
Collins, a late reliever, not too concerned about runners stealing, so he's got a leg kick, pretty high one. He doesn't use a slide step, so that's going to be an advantage for Barry, since you steal off pitchers, not catchers.
And now 3-0. There isn't a whole lot of power on deck. Omar Infante, however, a walk here, and now you've got the tying run in scoring position, and with 2 outs, the runners are going on contact.
And you got a guy who makes contact coming up, an Infante. That's it. Get back in this count here.
And he goes off speed with the count 3-1. So a full count, and now Barry's running on the next pitch.
Collins, an impressive display of pitches he's got. He's got a good mid-90s fastball, big curve and straight changeup, and right-handers are only hitting 172 off him. Make a pitch here.
Through the middle, and the Tigers are on the board for the first time since Tuesday. So with 2 outs, Peralta drives in Fielder, and it is 2-1. And now the tying runs at second base.
Okay, that'll be Guthrie's run, but Peralta knew that Collins was coming in there. And it was a good short swing.
So it'll be Aaron Crow to face Omar Infante with 2 on and 2 out in a 1-run game. Baker on 3 pitches, but Johnny Peralta comes through with a base hit, and it will be Aaron Crow to face Omar Infante with 2 on and 2 out. Tigers finally breaking through, scoring in the 8th inning, and that's their first run since the 8th inning 2 nights ago. Barry's at second base, Peralta is at first.
And Barry runs like the wind, so any single, most likely he'll be able to score, especially with nobody holding him on. He's got a chance to get a big secondary lead, and that's the lead after the pitch.
Crow faced Infante in the 8th inning on Tuesday and got a ground ball back to the mound. Aaron, last pitch in that game on Tuesday, and pitchers at times will say, you know, I made 1 bad pitch, but that was truly the case for Aaron as he went an inning and a third. He struck out 3. I mean, just overpowered 3 of the 5 hitters that he faced. Got that ground ball back to the mound from Infante, but he left 1 pitch out over the plate to Peralta, who hit a home run. Now Kane fades back. The Royals hang on to the lead. The Tigers get a run, but they strand 2 more. They've left 10 on base. Royals lead 2-1.
Cleveland, Chicago losing to Baltimore as the Orioles lead the Rays by a game and a half for the final playoff spot. Seattle, Blake Bevan's 9th win of the year. Toronto gets a pair of RBIs from Kelly Johnson to beat Tampa Bay 2-0, and early on in Lester and Greinke Pujols with a pair of first-inning RBIs. As for that Baltimore game, Adam Jones going deep, and the Orioles in front of, once again, not so many fans as you could see, continue to play spectacular baseball. One of the best stories of the year and helping Detroit's cause with the win over Chicago. One other thing to mention, guys, the Wilmington Blue Rocks High A affiliate of the Royals, Brett Eibner, 3 hits tonight, and they clinch a playoff berth.
All right, thank you, Joel. And Joel made the point, but it's sad to see the Orioles playing the way they're playing this late into the season and still nobody is going.
I
mean, this isn't Tropicana Field we're talking about here. Billy cracks his bat, and Peralta throws him out. Billy is 2 for 4.
Well, I'd hope it's not an ownership issue, and maybe the fans aren't. They had that falling out with the Washington Nationals, but both of those teams that are right in the same vicinity, both of them are in great spots to go to postseason. So you'd think that the fans would be able to share the love both ways, National League, American League. But I can't explain it. Joe, do you have an explanation?
Well, I got a couple of thoughts, and I've heard some people say, well, the Nationals are good now. These Orioles fans have had the Orioles forever. Maybe they pulled some people from D.C., but that doesn't fly with me. We saw it when we were there. The only night they had really good attendance, great attendance, was when they honored Eddie Murray. It was a day game today, but 10,141. That's it for a team that has just been an amazing story this year. I do know this, and I don't know what their numbers are, but in general across baseball, talking to some of our people, television ratings are up all over the place, and it's possible that this is just an economical thing for people, and that people are staying home to watch it on TV. I don't know the demographic and that market of Baltimore all that well, but it's sad to see that there aren't people going out enjoying one of the best stadiums in baseball and a team that hasn't dropped off. I mean, we saw Cleveland earlier in the year. Fans weren't showing up, and you had to wonder whether they just thought that maybe Cleveland wasn't as good as they were showing, and Cleveland did drop off. It's the end of August, and Baltimore is still very much in this and a legitimate playoff contender.
I see 3.5 out behind the New York Yankees.
3 now.
3.
Perez strikes out, 2 down in the 8th inning. Well, we've been trying to figure out for years why nobody goes out and watches the Rays. I mean, that's one of the great stories in baseball history. That little market, in that ballpark, in that division, becoming the force that they've become. But there's plenty of excuses when you talk to the locals about Tropicana Field, its location, on and on. But we're talking, as Joel said, this is the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, this is a fan base that goes way back and has seen some great teams, some great players, one of the best venues in Major League Baseball. And it's easy for us to say this, but I think we all agree in Kansas City, if the Royals were in this position this time of year, I think they'd be doing better than 10,000 a game. Although they do love staying home and watching you on TV, Hud.
Now, why'd you got to go there?
Wouldn't you say, I'll rescue HUD?
Thanks, Joel.
Ryan, middle of the week, I know it's a school week. Minimum, if we switch the records with the Orioles or the Rays, minimum 25? Weekend, weekend closer to 40?
Well, let me ask you this. What was, here, I'll look it up. I'm going to look at the box score. The Twins had a day game today, right?
They did.
32,578. That's a last place team. Great ballpark. They've been successful recently. They've taken a bit of a nosedive the past couple of years. They've got 32,000 fans. Anyway, glad we got that covered.
Feel better?
Greg Holland is not available after back-to-back saves, so it'll be Kelvin Herrera in a one-run game to the ninth.
Jeff Montgomery getting ready for Boulevard Royals Live as the Royals hoping to hold on for the sweep. We'll break down the action, take a look at Jeremy Guthrie with the big bounce-back start after a rough one in Boston, and get you ready for Cole DeVries and Will Smith first of 3 between the Royals and the Twins. But first off, it's the 9th inning. Here's Ryan.
All right, Joel, and the Tigers will be making a move, and so will the Royals for the top of the 9th inning. First of all, Kelvin Herrera, who is going for his first major league save. Now, he's had technically save opportunities, but that occurs anytime after the 7th inning with a lead, but he's never had a save opportunity in the 9th inning. And the Tigers move will be a left-hand hitter, Alex Avila, batting for Gerald Laird.
Well, I tell you, Ned Yost is blessed with options at the back end of his pen. Holland, he described before the game, Ned Yost said he may not be available tonight. He's had 2 stressful situations there to save the last couple of nights. He's thrown some pitches, and we might go with somebody else tonight.
And then the next question was, well, who will you go with? And Ned didn't have an answer. It all had to do with the matchups. And he has used Tim Collins. That was in the 8th in relief of Jeremy Guthrie, backed up by Aaron Crow, and saving the 9th for Herrera.
And that's a legitimate answer too. At that time of the game, before the game, when Ned's talking about that, he doesn't know what the situation is going to be like. So, but Herrera wants to get in there, get in that strike zone, start walking guys.
And he's 3-0 on Avila. So he wants to throw strikes no matter who the leadoff guy is. But Alex Avila is 5 for his last 38 with 16 strikeouts. That's a 132 batting average. So you are doing him and the Tigers a huge favor by walking him. Herrera doesn't want to go there, but he does. A 4-pitch walk. And just like that, the tying run is on for the top of the order. So Perez will go out there to try and calm him down, and they'll be joined by pitching coach Dave Island.
I don't remember seeing a 4-pitch walk from Herrera all year. So you put a young kid in a situation like this to close the game down. You can tell he's breathing heavy. He's probably a little nervous.
And for Herrera, that was just his 14th walk in over 67 innings.
Yeah, do you remember seeing a 4-pitch walk from him?
No. So now Austin Jackson and the Royals couldn't keep him off base in the first 2 games. But now tonight he is 0 for 4. And Herrera really having trouble now. So he's missed with 5 in a row. In the last 3 pitches, he's missed badly. Salvador Perez trying to get him through this 9th inning. That'll help him breathe a little easier. 1 ball, 1 strike. I remember a general manager once told me that relievers are almost like a relay team. And there are many guys who are good at passing on the baton to somebody else, but it's just the elite of the elite who can grab the baton, and they're the last guy standing. Line to center field. Kane coming up, dives, and that's another great play in the 9th inning. It was Dyson last night with Holland on the mound, and now it's Kane picking up Herrera tonight.
That's a big hang with him for Jackson, man. He squared that ball up, and it stayed up. It's hit so hard enough for Kane to sneak in there and get some more grass stains on him. Excellent play and timely. So defense late in games has been a big reason that the Royals are quickly trying to sweep these guys. Now here's Dyson last night. That was off Cabrera's bat. That bat falls in there. That ball sinks and lands, and that could have been a whole different game. A run would have scored for sure. And defense to the rescue.
And that really gives Herrera a big lift. And interesting, he goes with a changeup, and if his heart's pumping, which it probably is, going for his first save, going with the power pitches is probably not the best thing right now, and he goes with a pitch to slow things down and throws a great changeup to Dirks. He comes back with another one, And the count goes to 2-1. Dirks is 1 for 4 tonight. Bueno and Coleman just in case. Back with some heat, 100 miles per hour. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Okay, if you're Dirks, you got to look for the fastball. And you hope that he doesn't throw the changeup for a strike, because it's hard to hit that. But either one of them.
3-2. And we just showed you who's waiting on deck. Miguel Cabrera. Changeup is stroked to right field. Francoeur coming up. He slides. He trapped it. And trying for a play at second base. And Avila is there in time. And there will be 2 on for Cabrera.
Okay, the ball jammed Dirks. So it was a tough play for Frenchie, but he traps it, tries to sell it by holding the glove up. First base umpire says, no, you didn't. It wasn't no catch. So Frenchie tried to get the force out at second. Interesting matchup here.
And if you're wondering, in the past, Cabrera's 1 for 3 with a double against Kelvin Herrera. Jammed him, a slow roller. Giavotella. Escobar jumping over the runner. Still got the double play. And the Royals complete the sweep thanks in large part to Miguel Cabrera's bad left ankle. How many guys in the league can a shortstop jump over the runner, still have time to set his feet and complete the double play?
Yeah. You know, Escobar, he has the ability to throw that in the air like that, but I think he knew the runner and he had time. I tell you, Escobar, he's a beauty. Man, he's creative, he's athletic, and can make a big play.
And boy, did the Royals pitch tonight. They continue to be one of the elite pitching teams in the American League this month. The Detroit Tigers had 11 hits tonight, and because of the Royals pitching with men on base, it's a sweep because the Tigers produced just 1 run. Let's go down to the field, and here's Joel.
Ryan, thanks. I've got the Royals left fielder and center fielder tonight. Let's begin with Alex Gordon. Baseball can be a very funny game sometimes. You score 8 runs against Justin Verlander and 4 runs against the rest of their pitchers in this series. Any explaining that at all?
No, our offense really didn't do anything. It's been our pitching the last 2 games, and when they got done, our bullpen came in and did the job like they've always done all year. And our center fielders the last 2 nights made unbelievable plays to save the game, so that was great to see again.
All right, Lorenzo, let me ask you that. Last night I said to Gerard Dyson, take me through the potential game-saving play. Now you have one, actually 2 great catches in the game, but take us through it.
I don't know, hard hit ball to me, just a reaction, just trying to make a play from a pitcher. He pitched an amazing game today, so definitely trying to get him that win.
Alex, you've played Gold Glove defense this year, and you got the Gold Glove last year, but what's it like to have not 1 but 2 center fielders out there to do what they do in center?
Yeah, they can run for sure, and it makes my job a lot easier. I just catch the easy pop-ups on my way, and they make all the hard plays. So they really make my job a lot easier.
You know how tough Porcello can be, the way he can get those ground balls in this game, and there weren't a lot of runs to be had, but tell me about the home run.
I was leading off the inning, and, he struck me out with a fastball that bat before, and I got ahead in the count, and I had Billy behind me, so leading off the inning, I knew I was going to get a heater, and was able to do something with it.
All right, Lorenzo, final question for you guys. Just talk about this series overall. I mean, I know you weren't able to do what you wanted on the road, but the energy's still been really good. What changed here in the series?
Most definitely just come in and, stay focused, and definitely a great team over there. But we found a way to keep our pitcher in the ball game and by making plays in our field. And like I said, we put up enough runs, and they got it done pitching-wise.
All right, Lorenzo Cain, Alex Gordon, great job in the outfield and at the plate tonight. We head back upstairs to Ryan.
All right, Joel, thank you. And as Alex Gordon said, it didn't take much offense tonight. It was mostly pitching, but Alex chipped in with his 10th home run of the year. The Royals win 2-1. We'll be right back.